We just reported another outstanding quarter, and I guess you can tell the story best when you look at three key metrics. Cloud revenue growth once again significantly accelerated. Now we are up 20% year over year. We just also recorded our highest cloud order entry ever since 6 years. And then also our current cloud backlog, which is an important indicator for our future cloud revenue, just surpassed 8 billion, also up 22%. So I'm very happy. I mean, there's always more you can do, but we are clearly ahead of the plan, and we just also raised our guidance once again.
I remember that day when we spoke a year ago, and it was a difficult day for SAP in the markets. Shares had plunged more than 20%. There was a lot of skepticism about that plan. Looking back now, would you have done anything differently?
Trust me, Emily, I can remember this day also really well. And look, for me, it's very important that we follow the needs and requirements of our customers. And especially during the pandemic, what they asked us to do is help us to transform our business model, help us to create more resilient supply chains, and help us to become a more sustainable enterprise. And that's why the shift to the cloud was without any alternative. So that's the one part. And then the second part, with RISE with SAP, we said, also, let's use the power of SAP as we have access to the best practices of over 400,000 customers. And now we are helping our customers more proactively to change their business model, to build resilient supply chains in our business network. And of course, as we are running many factories and warehouses around the globe, we are also now managing the green line of our customers. So actually, I would do it exactly in the same way. And I guess also the success in the last 12 months proved that the strategy is working.
You've upped competition with Salesforce and Oracle for sure. And still, you've got Larry Ellison out there continuing to mock SAP's transition to the cloud. What do you have to say to him? And what else do you plan to do to increase brand awareness, especially in the United States, where Salesforce and Oracle are more well known?
Yeah, a good question. I mean, first of all, yes, of course, I also hear these claims around, ERP market shares, back and forth, every earnings. First of all, I take it as a credit. When one of our largest competitors talks so much about SAP, I see this as a positive sign. What I also see is the pure numbers. So S/4HANA Cloud Revenue Backlog is just up 58%. Revenue is up 46%. Actually, our core ERP solution is the fastest growing solution in our portfolio. We are not only winning in our installed base, we also just closed a quarter where we had over 50% of our customers were net new. So we are winning market share. And every time when I also talk to customers who are not running SAP, they come to us because they say, hey, I'm a product company. I want to sell everything as a service. I want to move to pay-as-you-go, subscription license models. This is what SAP can do best, fully automated end-to-end, plus supply chain, plus commerce. And this is why we are winning. And I guess at the end of the day, it's the best to let the customers talk and, of course, to prove it with numbers and figures.
You've got a unique view into the supply chain turmoil with your supply chain management software and also into travel with your Concur business. How much more pain will we see in the supply chain and in the travel business, and when do things return to normal?
That's a good question, Emily. And actually, I mean, you're right. I mean, of course, in the public, we hear a lot about the shortage on the semiconductor side. We also hear about, the container ships who can enter the harbor anymore. And there's many more out there where supply chains are heavily disrupted. And what we see with our supply chain software, but even more important with the business network, is that a lot of customers now come to us and said, I want to join this business network. I want to be connected real time with all my suppliers, with all my manufacturers to manage real time the supply chain end to end, not only within my four walls. So yes, the supply chain disruptions are serious. And with some of that, let's talk about semiconductor. I definitely also foresee from what we are seeing is that this will also be the case in the next quarters.
So when do you see a return to normal? How far out is that?
Yeah, so when I look at the travel business, I mean, the good piece is that we actually saw Concur, which is a very good indicator. Concur is back to growth. Yeah, we definitely see signs of recovery. People are traveling between Europe and the US, so it's picking up. Of course, not everywhere in the world. What we actually foresee and what we also see in our business is that next year, Q1, Q2, I really hope that we can come more back to normal. The back to normal will not be the level what we have seen before the pandemic, but definitely we see higher activities also in our travel business already now and in the quarters to come.